great. Coverage of the Republican National Convention. Have a good Joel. Thanks. Mike?
Well, we're going to run it forwards right now, 20 minutes.
Double bill. Hi, Joel.
Good morning, Joe.
Joel Siegel's here now with a double bill. Hi, Joel.
Good morning, Joe. Brian De Palma's been making
Interesting.
And so I didn't allow myself to think about it.
You won for Best Female Vocalist for Country, but particularly the new album. Everybody will hear one of the songs coming up. It's not just country, and I know that you don't like to be pigeonholed.
Good morning, I'm Scott Simon, along with Jackie Nesbral, and in just a few minutes we're going to talk to the man who is producing that convention in Houston.
Also in this hour,
pressure of the group that they're in, the peer pressure of the police department they work for.
and we're back. And earlier I had mentioned that I was going to say something about Scott Simon, and all it is that he has a beautiful cat named Leonore de Simone, which he loves very much.
Thank you, Jackie. That was far better than I had a right to expect.
I know. In this half hour, we'll talk about police corruption with a former cop who went bad and then went. Joe Whitty, how's the weather? Do we have as much sunshine as yesterday?
Yes, a lot of sunshine across the country. And let me add this, that Andrew was about as powerful, if not just a little stronger, than Hugo, which hit Charleston 3 years ago. And Hugo, 3 years ago, just went a little north of Charleston, so the main brunt of those 140-mile-an-hour winds.
Day of summer.
Gosh, I have to check. We know the last weekend is coming. I believe it's the 21st, or the 20th, one or the other of September. Anyway, let's take a look right now.
In just a few moments, we'll talk with the Secretary of Health and Human Services about the public health situation developing.
More than 6,000 deaths have been attributed to the clashes between the two groups during the past 2 years. And that's news. Here's Al Roker with the weather.
Thanks, guys. And all in all, we are looking. We'll talk about that later. It's a messy subject. Let's take a look at the weather.
Are coming out together to offer their help in the aftermath of Hurricane Andrew.
We're back on Today. I'm Jackie Nesbral along with Scott Simon and Al Roker. And in this half hour, Scott looks back on the first year of Biosphere 2. And I'll check in with some South Florida residents we met a month ago as they rebuild their lives.
Also, Andy Parr will be along to tell you what to do with the leaves of autumn, but first, Jackie has this news.
Gregory Kingsley has a new set of parents and a place in legal history today.
Has this news.
Gregory, after seeing that shark bite on your interview, would you dare swim in waters that you knew had sharks in them?
Well, subject doesn't come out. I could say a lot of things about the YMCA pool, but not that. It probably wouldn't be too different from covering a lot.
I understand you're looking at Hawaii with another tropical storm.
Yes, a tropical storm, not a hurricane. Let's take a look-see right now. Tropical storm.
We're back on Today. I'm Jackie Nesbral along with Scott Simon and Joe Whitty. And coming up in this half hour, last night's big hurricane relief benefit concert in Miami. I'll be talking with one of the organizers, Andy Garcia, plus an eye-opening look at the great white shark.
And Jackie will talk to the actress who is portraying the Duchess of York, Sarah Ferguson, in a new television motion picture. But first, she has this news.
Thank you, Scott. The Iran-Contra scandal
Study that's careful, but there are problems with this study
that are available. And in fact, Kristen is kind of like Norplant. But would the effects of it be different from Norplant? Because Norplant's been approved, right?
Norplant's been approved and is considered safe.
And Hackney of KGO TV in San Francisco is filling in for Spencer Christian today for the National Weather Forecast. We welcome you, Brian.
And thank you for having me, believe me. And I expected the heat, the humidity. It's cold, it's windy, it's just like San Francisco.
It goes back and forth here.
Let's go take a look. Over the map.
We could, Christmas money.
Okay. I'll play. I'd like that.
That's sports for the half hour.
A job that suits me, owning a baseball club. Coming up, voices from the camp and Brown.
And I'm Lisa McCree in the news. This is World News Now. Generic news program.
Okay, you could be, but you're not. This is World News Now.
In what?
In that sentence, that's your morning papers or something for this half hour.
It's Friday. Thank goodness. This is World News Now. The Caravan Club International, he invented the Airstream, and anytime I travel, I get behind one of those.
Look out for tornadoes. They're monster.
Normally, they would flee. But they didn't flee. I'm told that they got within arm's distance from
a couple of
hours.
That's right.
We did a lot of videotaping though, and I'm told that one of the better moments there in the forest is when you ran into a group of wild chimps. Is that what I would say? All right, thank you, Arthur. 47 after on the trail of a world removed from mankind.
Kemper adjustable rate.
All right, just a few good ideas. You got to really shop around these days. Tyler, thank you.
Thank you. Good.
And we'll be back in just a moment. Tons of different companies that offer these. You've got a list of a few that have shown good track records.
That's right. Over the past year, the total return, that is how much has your money grown, let's look at the three categories.
And today.
Plus the weekend forecast and why things are looking a bit different.
And Lori's Rock Videos next.
Plus the weekend forecast and why things are looking a bit different.
And Lori's Rock Videos next.
And so are the venues.
In fact, we'll be taking you back out to swimming in just a few minutes. 16-year-old Anita Nall, the Maryland high schooler, will be competing in the 100-meter breaststroke, and that should be quite a race, Dick, because in the 200-meter breast, she was really out in front. She seemed to fade in the last 25 meters or so she should, we hope, do well in that event.
She'll be motivated, and I'm looking forward to your visit with Mirsada Buric, the young woman from Bosnia. Unbelievable. I mean, training for the Olympics under sniper fire.
And even when they tried to leave the country, Anita Nall, let's see if she can pull it off in the 100-meter breaststroke after getting a disappointing bronze a few days ago. We'll be back with much more from Barcelona, Spain, after the station break.
Do you know Jan?
After the station break.
You noticed it, I did too. He was almost crying, very emotional.
Very emotional. Well, people don't realize it's a huge deal for the U.S. team to get a medal in the team competition because they've never medaled in an Olympics when the Soviets, or in this case the former Soviets, have been involved.
And you had to read between the lines with Karolyi what he was upset with, and maybe the reason why he's retiring, he can't stand the high-level politics. He himself has been involved in them, and he criticized the U.S. Leaders in not being more proud of the American bronze last night.
But we should point out that Bela Karolyi, as you've said, is indeed very controversial. Some people see him as a very ruthless coach who's too tough on the kids, and he's quite political himself, isn't he, Dick?
But you know what he is? A winner. Everywhere he's been, he is a winner.
I just love watching him in action because he's so expressive.
Oh, really?
That's right. As if you didn't know.
You're like that.
We've got much, much more to come from the games of the 25th Olympiad in Barcelona, Spain. But first, these messages. A panel of pundits and politicians will try to help us understand what's happened during this wild week.
We have had a very colorful, I might even say feisty group with us all week long. Susan Estridge, Babe Buchanan, Chris Matthews, and Bill Bennett. And they're going to be with us in our 8 o'clock half hour to dissect yesterday the Clinton speech and the Ross Perot withdrawal. And good morning, America, and this is the morning after the day before. I'm Charles Gibson. It is Friday, July 17th.
Yes, and I'm John Lennon, and what a week minutes after, and Spencer has stormy weather.
First he has to find his voice, then he'll have some weather. Yes, we do have some very stormy weather in the nation's midsection, but it's bringing in some much nicer weather behind it, so I'll show you what's going on.
We'll buy that.
We'll start with the set.
Yeah, and actually a black cat walked in front of my path a few days ago, so I'm kind of waiting for something bad to happen. Mike Berriman, the swimmer who won the gold medal in the 200-meter breaststroke.
My pet.
Right, Dick. And we'll be back with more from Barcelona, Spain.
3 times, not twice.
Right after this. Went to relapse.
But foods that are nonetheless rich in vitamin A, that apparently what it does is it helps create the antioxidants, vitamin A does, that can prevent those so-called free radicals, which are like spare elements of oxygen
to go out there.
That destroy, which are implicated not only in
of course, to increase the risk of cataract, may actually negate the benefits
of eating the rich. It was published in the British Medical Journal, a very prestigious journal. It was a survey of women, I believe 50,000 of them, who were at least 45 years old. So we're talking about people who had gone into middle age, not people who had, say, because of genetic reasons, come down with cataracts at a very early age.
Spencer.
Get that? Thanks, Mort. Well, I can tell you what's it on the map. Stormy weather.
And I can tell you, where's it?
Oh, good, good. Then go do it.
Okay. Well,
Probably a lot of people out there who are having, problems dealing with the problems in their lives, and yet realize that there was another solution that could normalize the relationship. Now, how might a more orthodox therapist have approached that?
The fruit that's named.
Oh, interesting. Also,
when you mentioned the medicinal value of cranberries and the vitamin C in cranberries, when we think of vitamin C, it's a typical tendency to think of orange juice. Is the vitamin C content equally as high in cranberries as oranges?
Yeah, if you a glass of cranberry juice a day will probably provide.
There are only 30 days left for the election day.
Well, it has to come sometime. Might as well be then.
You know what, I have to mention something else, Scott. Just that the Miami Hurricanes won yesterday by 3 points, and Notre Dame...
Really? I hadn't
Did they win or lose?
Excuse me?
Notre Dame?
I don't know. I didn't check these things when I came on this
And on the other side of the country, the Purple and Gold Huskies also did fairly well. Scott,
I believe
Notre Dame do again?
I believe Coach Holtz is... I believe what he's trying to do is just lay low until we get to the final weeks of the season and the bowl selection.
Good strategy. Good strategy.
Thank you very much for being with us. And as we go up, we're going to hear again from Tony Bennett.
See you next weekend.
Bye-bye.
To God. That's the news at this hour. Now, let's take a look at the weather with Joe Whitty. Good morning.
Good morning, Jackie.
Seems a little bit cooler than yesterday.
Yes, it does, and there's really not good news for Florida. A second impulse is moving over Florida, so we have, again, a potential of tornadoes. In fact, take a look at the time-lapse action from Weather.
But first, let's do check in with Jackie in the news.
Florida residents today are...
Power crews, for that matter, insurance adjusters, other kinds of community employees are going to have an awfully busy day there in another community of Florida that's been struck by devastating weather.
Yes, you know that almost 300 homes have been either damaged or destroyed in the Tampa Bay area.
And he'll be singing a lot. But first, let's do check in with Jackie in the news.
Florida residents today...
David Mamet.
Ooh. It looks like some great acting.
Oh, great acting. Yeah.
All right,
incredible experience.
Thanks.
Both films.
All right, coming up from the stage, Joel.
Very nicely said. First, Robert Redford, who directed a...
That was
A lot of hard workers there that are in our office working hard.
Yeah, there they all are. All of them. Just too bad they can't be in the studio this morning.
Good morning, everyone. I'm John London.
I'm Mike Schneider and Charlie Gibson. Thursday, October the 8th, and we were saying that they should be in the studio because we're going to have some pretty good food, Andy.
All right,
yeah, there they all are. All of them. Just too bad they can't be in the studio this morning.
Good morning, everyone. I'm John London.
I'm Mike Schneider and Charlie Gibson. Thursday, October the 8th, and we were saying that they should be in the studio because we're going to have some...
presidential poll, it seems. We keep hearing all these presidential polls.
Day.
Including that time-honored news magazine for youngsters, The Weekly Reader. This is The Weekly Reader right here. It has just released its 10th presidential poll. Now, kids from kindergarten through high school have all given President Bush nearly 56% of the vote. Governor Clinton got 39%.
The youth vote.
The youth vote. And we should say that the president did especially well in grades kindergarten through fourth grade.
Right.
Also, they tell me that the Weekly Reader poll has never been wrong
in 36 years
when it comes to picking presidents.
Last 36 years.
We'll be able to find out
in about 3 weeks, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
What are you going to find out on the weather map?
I've got some map
detection.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Seltzer, for being with us this morning.
My pleasure to be here.
And we'll be right
The best opportunity to be cured.
very quickly. At what age should a woman get a mammogram?
For the leading cause of death in the United States for women between 40 and 44. So when you look at the statistics...
We are giving Charlie and Governor Clinton a chance to relocate to another location right now. And in the meantime, we haven't really talked about it that much, but we're going to be going away, coming up here in a couple of weeks on a trip out to the Southwest. One of the first stories I was ever sent out to do with this program, I think maybe even before I was host of the program, was to the Navajo Nation for the installation.
I'll be there for the weekend.
We start the program, and the sun will come up on our program.
You don't need sun in Las Vegas. Everybody stays indoors anyhow.
That's right. And then we'll go on to and that is the news at this hour. Now let's take a look at the weekend weather with Al Roker. Tell me, how's my daughter going to do tonight with trick-or-treating?
Well, I predict at least 3 or 4 bags.
3 or 4 bags?
Exactly.
Now, how about the weather?
Oh, okay, well. And what are you going as, Scott?
I'm as a newsman.
Sorry, I didn't mean to throw you.